Good morning, everybody. Hey, coffee? Hey, Jesse, morning. Jack, what's going on? Hey, hey. Hey, Ed. Jonathan, good morning.
That's from the time our last album. That's what we've been doing on this time period, working on our beats. That's been working on our.
Hey, Cricket. Hey, that's totally good, Jack. If you haven't traded anything in the last 2 days, no worries. I'd say that to anyone, because most people, that's usually not people's problem, is not trading. Usually the problem is trading too much. So if you have the patience enough to wait a couple of days for a good trade, you're in a good spot. Hey Bill, good morning. Clear range structure today. Nasdaq, we're at the bottom of the range. There is a bit of a bearish bias, but we could easily get some support right here. You'll notice that we do have lower highs and lower lows, but they're kind of getting smaller each time. That can often be the start of a reversal. So I'd watch for a bounce here. ES is going up quite a bit. Here it is on the ES, very clear trading range. Right, y'all. Well, looking at the news for today, not too much. Already got through unemployment claims. Wasn't a big one. Came right in at previous. And then the market's not really waiting for any specific release. Yeah, there is home sales at 10. So we'll be flat for that for sure. But the big thing this week is earnings. And let's see what we got. Today's a pretty big one earnings wise. Netflix after the close. It's not huge, but there's a few big names. Alaska's already reported. Banks, DR Hort. Netflix after the close will be the big move. American Express on Friday. Let's also mark out our levels. Nasdaq says there are not many periods of 5 consecutive red days in Nasdaq. Very true. Those kind of patterns can be helpful, but keep in mind the market can do whatever the heck it wants. So we just had, the best thing is just to watch what price is doing, and it'll let us know whether that's the case or not. All right, well, let's get yesterday's close in here. We don't have too much of a gap really. A little bit of one below us. And of course, yesterday's low is down this way. Hey, Daily Grind, good morning. This is a pretty important level to watch as well. Be the low from 2 days ago. Been a point of contention for the market. Several turns at that level. Essentially the overnight high. That's a big one. Then the other side of that would be the top of this nonsense. So that big range that we were in, mark that out. So there we go. Those are the most important levels immediately for the S&P 500. We shall see where we go. Mark those out for the Nasdaq. Yesterday's close, yesterday's low. And we'll mark out the extremes of as well. I'm kind of just going the general area. It's more of an area than an actual specific level. Okay, there we go. There's our levels on the NAS. Tiny gap below. A lot of room to the upside. And with the market open here in 10 minutes, we'll see which one plays out. Looks like this is that Nasdaq bounce I was talking about. Right off the bottom of the range, we got a higher low right in here. This closes on its high. It's a nice green bar. Likely to get above this little congestion. Morning, by the way. Daryl, Senor, Code as well. Good to see you guys. I can see you, Toad. I can see you. That looks like a comfy chair, by the way. Red's my favorite color, too. I like that shirt. Hey, Pablo. No pants. Tom, good morning, good morning. Gonna be a sit on hands morning, but you're at a standing desk. Now that is a conundrum, my friend. Not really sure what you could do about that one. All right, 1 minute till market open. S&P is smack dab in the middle of this range. And this little uptrend already has a break in a new high. So expecting a correction. Of course, anything can happen on the open, but this would be hands-off mode for sure. Hey Sage, good morning. Here's the open, and we are seeing that correction like we would expect after that uptrend played out. Nasdaq, much weaker than S&P. We will see now if it is able to get below this range or not. Looks like the gap is filled there on the Nasdaq. Still looking really weak, and maybe it wants to come down and test yesterday's low. But the ES holding up. Not really dropped yet. It's consolidating right here in the middle of the range. So all those non-tech stocks holding up so far. But not a good sign when all your big money makers are dropping down. So ES will likely follow suit, I would imagine. Likely another hand sitting day for Shayak, eh? No worries. Nasdaq has some pretty good movement, but S&P is still stuck in the range. See if it can come down and fill the gap. Okay, here we go. S&P just now poking through the bottom of the range. Likely to go fill that little gap there. Nasdaq is right on yesterday's low. This is going to be a really important area. We close below this, continue to confirm below this. Could have a bearish trend day on our hands, but you got to give it some time. Don't anticipate this. Don't assume just because we drop 2 here that that's where we're going. These areas can have really violent reversals, so be patient. Let's see if this confirms. And if it does, great. And we have a trend day, awesome. We can start trading that, but it's not confirmed yet. Also, with the S&P, gap has been filled, and we still have good almost 10 points until yesterday's low. Nasdaq right at the bottom of this channel. See if it gets an overshoot. On the S&P, I can consider a short still because we have not gotten to yesterday's low. If we get a good looking pullback here, short looks nice. Move down, pullback, and then we can play that to yesterday's low. On the Nasdaq, I would need to see some serious confirmation that this level is going to hold. 2 nice legs up to previous day's low, and I need to see a really good rejection there. Right now, we're starting to overshoot that. Right now it's overshooting the channel. We will monitor this, see if it acts like an overshoot. If we don't get a strong move up here and it just keeps trickling down, we will just look for this steeper channel and trade that, or maybe this bigger one is wider. So this is really important to watch prices here and see what they do. If this moves up pretty good like this, then we will treat this as an overshoot. That could lead to a reversal back into the range. on the S&P. This channel down already does have a break and a new low, so we will also pause looking for shorts here. Now we can see over here on the ES, we are starting to correct pretty sharply upwards. So starting to think that yes, indeed, this may have been an overshoot. Watch for that larger correction starting to play out. And on the ES, we will also monitor this uptrend. Both indices were expecting the same thing, which is bit of a bounce. Candlesticks says, I get over emotional, see this drop and get jumpy, I suck at patience. Yeah. Oh, this is exactly why, right? Exactly why it's important to have patience. Drop looks really good, and all of a sudden we're getting a pretty big correction. So I guarantee you there was a lot of people that got short in here somewhere. And you know, even if you got short on this bar, it's try to break even. And if you got short here, for sure you're in some pain right now. So patience pays off always. Cricket asking, when do I decide to take a long? That would take quite a bit for me. Although we are bouncing, you know, always zoom out. We still have to respect this drop. This could still get a retest, right? This uptrend could get a break, a new high. and come right back down and go to the previous day's low. So you don't want to too quickly switch sides when you have such a strong move down. In order to trade an uptrend on the ES, I would for sure need to see something like this. It gets well up into where the range was, EMA pointing up, following this channel, something like that. That's what I would need. On the Nasdaq, for sure have to get above the previous day's low. Would not consider anything. We're still below this level, and kind of same deal on as I said with the S&P. I want to see a really solid trend. It's well into this action. For sure above the opening price, which is right around here somewhere. Gotta get above that. So yeah, don't switch biases too quick when you have a strong move in one direction. Alright, the small uptrend on S&P does have a break in a new high. Expecting maybe a correction to the downside. But if no correction to the downside, we'll see if we can get a wider channel. Just like that, Nasdaq is going above previous day's low. This is what I said. Remember, right when we were breaking through here, I said, hey, we need to confirm below this. We can't just assume that this means it's going to be bearish. Right here is where we'll find out. If we reject off this and continue downwards, great. Now we know that the sellers are in control, but right here it looks like bulls might get their way. Liking this wider channel on ES. ES is right at previous support. See if it turns into resistance. And with that, it is time to hydrate.
That's really something. It has a range to low A and up to high G.
As always, Toad, you know my advice. Only short here if you are going to YOLO your grandma's savings. It's the only way I would do it. Kind of a funky looking channel on NAS. Has a little break, push up to a new high. Come on for grandma. Do it for Graham. ES2, this looks like an overshoot of our uptrend. Will this lead to a stronger correction to the downside? Yeah, that brings a whole new meaning. Do it for the gram. Definitely a hand sitting area, guys. We're right around this support / resistance on the S&P. Same with the NAS at the previous day's low. This is where the battle is going to happen. Watch the EMA as well. Market starts bouncing off that, we could continue higher. One thing I will tell you, there are a lot of people getting wrecked right now. There are for sure folks that bought this. Oh man, we're back above previous day's low, and that's why you get this really vertical spike up. And then there's a lot of people who also are shorting at this level going, oh, this has to reject. We're absolutely going down. And they may get wrecked as well. Probably did right here, actually. That was that vertical spike. There was people short right in here as we started to show a little bit of resistance off that previous day's low. So then their stops getting triggered, plus people buying here, and it gets smacked down. Just not a good spot to be in on either side. just as we were starting to look kind of good, coming down, we have a move back up. Short's starting to get rocked. Hope you guys are all being patient around this area. I think this is probably a good area to do a little poll. See if we can get this off before the market goes anywhere. Where do we go from this level? Going up, or are we getting smacked down? Gotta cast your vote right away. Otherwise it'll be cheating, because we'll start to see what the answer is. What do we got, folks? A light smacking. Okay. We got more votes for SmackDown. Bet that will change as this green candle starts to print. Switch your vote, it's going up. Cast your vote, people. Where are we going? Where are we going? See the I am trading chat signal. Which does all right, I'll say. Our chat signals do okay. Not a complete fade. Oh, it is exactly 50-50 right now. Up or down, ladies and gentlemen. Right now we're at 50-50, but I bet you if we get a handle one way or the other, we'll see the votes change. Alright, one more minute to vote. Going up or down? Right, poll is ending. It looks like very slightly people are favoring the downside, but pretty 50-50 here. I would say that's an accurate representation of what's going on. Is it's 50-50 shot. I think it's a coin flip. I would probably favor the upside a little bit more. Oh, and yes, Toad, there was news at 10. Listing home sales. No big number. Came in just about at what was forecasted. So nothing crazy. That'll do it for news for the week.
I understand perfectly.
Range, range, and for dessert, some more range. That is the truth. Though I will say, this market does have the potential to actually do something today. Looks like it wants to go somewhere. Okay, Nasdaq is now below the EMA. Let's see if it can hold. Or if that was a little bear trap. Indeed, Daryl. A lot of wicks. A lot of indecisive market behavior here. One side starts to look good and then immediately reverses. Nasdaq right at previous day's low yet again. Okay, starting to move up. S&P back above that resistance. Russell 2000 is just didn't even get any of the movement that other indices did today. And just as we were starting to get a move up, we get a red candle. I hope everyone out there is been able to be patient. I totally agree, Jesse. This is just not trustworthy price action. The 21 EMA right now is basically where VWAP is. SP500 and Q. No real support from the 1OP indicator either. Well, actually it is supporting because it's showing that we're ranging. flat oscillator, flat market. Good time to make some coffee. Go make some coffee, have some breakfast, a cup of joe, if you will. I like that, Toad. No, I appreciate the dad jokes. Don't worry, guys. I'll yell at you if something starts to happen. I love a good dad joke and some old-timey sayings. Been around this stream long enough, you know that to be the case. Okay, we got a little move up here. Let's see how it looks. Don't want any violent pullbacks. Hopefully this can turn into something trustworthy. Ace asking, was it a good failed second entry short, or was it too close to the OVL? Not sure what the OVL is, but I would say no. Anything in here I don't think is a good trade. You want to get out of that congestion. I mean, well, now that I'm thinking about it, Ace, it's not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah, you're waiting for some confirmation one way or the other, and this is a pretty decent show here. This move down. The EMA did not reject first entry set and immediately pushed above the EMA. Get one more test. Nice green bar. Yeah, that's not a bad one to take a whack on. I don't like trading anything in this kind of congestion, especially around a contentious level like that overnight low. Very tricky area indeed, Shire. Ace, I see your question. Give me a sec. I'll try to get to that here. I have to first read the question and understand what you're talking about. Daryl asking, when I pass an eval, do I trade the new EA, the new funded account, more aggressive at first to get past the trailing drawdown? No, I don't trail it more aggressive. In fact, quite the opposite. When I get a new funded account, my main goal is to keep that thing. So, especially if you're getting the lifetime, you're paying for the lifetime data. There's no rush on those. I like building that thing up slowly. Base hits. Because you've put a lot of time and money into it at that point. So if you trade it more aggressively, obviously that ups the risk for losing it, and that's not something that I want to do. but others have different approaches, and that's totally fine. Maybe you look at it as, hey, this thing has got to get to payout, or it's completely pointless. I don't want to take too much time doing it, so I'm going to be a bit more aggressive. Okay. You know, maybe that's your style, and that's fine. But I like trying to hold on to those things. All right, so Ace's question. Elaborating on when first leg of a trend is short and the second is longer. Just before the failed second entry short, do we consider the first leg as a part of congestion or part of a two-legged move? Let's see. Well, let me first make sure I understand what you're talking about. I would probably look at this. So, yeah, let me clarify your question. Are you asking if we should look at this leg as the first leg or the second leg? Is that your question? Like if this is the first leg or it's 1, 2. Like whether this is 1, 2 legs or this is one leg and we're expecting another. Yes, okay. I think you can look at it both ways, really. I think you have to be open to the possibility of either. If we were just looking at... Give me a sec. If we are just looking at this, right, you're going to start going, okay, here's our move down. We're expecting 2 legs, right? That makes sense, right? Here's a correction. Okay, this could get 2 legs. When we get back to a double top, typically I would say you want to kind of start over. Because this could just as easily develop into something wider, right? This could just as easily go down like this. You always have to keep in mind, price action rules are not rules. It's not like the market has to do this, that, or the other thing. The market can do anything, and we're just finding patterns that repeat themselves and probabilities that are likely or unlikely. So with that said, I would at first treat this as if it's going to continue down and maybe even get a second leg. Because we're rejecting off of this level. Market has been down. This could, you'd see this pattern play out all the time. It goes back for another test at the low. But when you get this really strong push above the EMA, that's when you're like, okay, I don't think this is legit. If this thing was really going to get going, it would have rejected at the EMA or just continued down here. But this really strong push above the EMA, that's what makes you go, all right, maybe this is just the 2 moves we're already getting here. And then that failed second entry short appears, and that's a pretty decent opportunity. Hope that makes sense. You gotta remain flexible for sure. We are getting a little breakout of this move up. I'm still not 100% convinced one way or the other on what's going to happen here. Nice, Toad. We still have a short-term downtrend. So even if the second entry long forms here, I'm not too thrilled about taking it. I would like to see a little move like this, and then a push above the EMA, and that's when I'm going to be thinking that this trend is going to get a new high. And while you are waiting for all that to happen, maybe you could consider going through the crazy YouTube motions to give this video a like. You may have to close your chat, you may have to do a backflip, I don't know. It sounds like YouTube has messed some stuff up, changed some things around. If you feel so inclined, I'd love a like to help that YouTube robot. Alright, so now we do have a tiny little break of this downward trend. Looks like we'll make a new low, and at that point we will be waiting for a push above the EMA and maybe a higher low. That could get us long. You did not have to close the chat. Alright, Shaq. Cool. That's good to hear. Oh, that's moving up pretty significantly there. See if we can get a pullback and a higher low. Higher low did not look great on the S&P. Kind of like it better on the Nasdaq. If we can get a little bit of a move back. Got a limit order in for that. Just noticing spike down on the 10p. Why I canceled that. Still could work, but I'm taking this as a little bit of a warning here. 10p moving down quite a bit. So I'm going to be patient here, see if that produces anything. looks pretty likely to go to a new high here on the EMA. I mean the S&P. Yeah, Toad, the 1OP indicator is oscillating indicator developed by Pete Stolzers, who runs the one option community. So it's something I use. I've been and I've used it for years, but not really showed it all on stream. So the last couple weeks I've been doing that, just showing how I use it. It's really incredible predictive tool. So yeah, over and over you'll see that it can predict kind of market shifts. So anyway, and then here we go, getting a big red candle. Scalp would have worked on both the S&P and the Nasdaq. The one problem for me though is that I usually trail my stop beneath each bar once we get to a new high. So I would have been long here, actually here, because I had an order, and then get to the new high, my stop would go underneath this bar, and now underneath this bar. So my stop would be below break even, just hoping that this goes up even higher. Otherwise I'd have to take a really small win on this. I'd be sweating in this thing right now. The better play, I think, would have been on the ES for me. If this would have been a better bar here, and that's not the worst bar, could have taken that. But I had the 1OP on in my favor on ES. As you can see, that has been moving up for a long time now. Frost, like way back when we were at the low of the day, so that's been going up. You can really trust that move. Right now we are very close to what is or was the range over the last several days. Scrolling back, you know, this whole area here, we're coming up to the bottom of that. See it right here. So if we break above this level, it's not like we're free and clear just to rock it up. This has all been very congested. So it might just be breaking above here so that we can then chop around. So that'll be fun, right? Starting to consider a bigger pattern. Yes. Probably the Nasdaq too. Let's see how that looks. This is a great little plug for watching for overshoots. Look at that. This looked really bearish. We had that overshoot and that has led to just a complete reversal. So always be watching for those overshoots. And that's why drawing channels instead of just straight trend lines is really helpful. If you just had a trend line going here, you might have sold this going, hey man, trend is still down. We're good to go. I'm going to sell this. And why the heck? Why didn't it get respected? There you go. Because it overshot. Had too steep of a move down. But yeah, so anyway, we're looking for a larger pattern on the Nasdaq. Maybe that. Hey, Shy, good patience, good example. Not taking trades if it's not setting up for you, so we'll cross our fingers and hope there's more opportunities tomorrow. Have a good one. As still in its channel, still looking pretty good. Possible overshoot on the ES channel. Could also draw it from that swing and it might be okay. But either way, we're testing the bottom of what was that range. The low from a couple days ago. And you can see that's an important level by how we have an immediate burst above it. So that's where a lot of stops go, and a lot of people are also watching for confirmation of whether or not bullish or bearish. So you can see right when we get there, boom, immediate spike upwards. Pretty steep pullback here. Let's watch the EMA. That will let us know if bullish continuation is likely or not. Okay, initially the EMA looks like it's holding. Nice move up off the EMA. No real way to join that. We needed one more test there. Unless you're going really aggressive, and that would definitely be really aggressive to buy the EMA right after we just poked above a level, possible overshoot on a wider channel. That'd be really, really aggressive. Wouldn't recommend it. Tough area again. right at the overnight high, right at the previous day's low. Might be another good opportunity to make some coffee, guys. Brew up a cup of Joe. Apex is still rocking that 80% off sale. Might be a good time to set some accounts up if you're looking to add some more. Try to add some more funded accounts or even get funded for the first time. Great opportunity with that sale. And if you trade really well, you can literally get funded in one day. You don't have to, but it is an option. And that's only going to go on for the rest of this month. Market is looking pretty strong here. We're above the overnight high. We're in that previous range. Nasdaq not as strong as the S&P. We're quite a ways away from the overnight high here. Still 57 points to go before we even test the overnight high on the Nasdaq. But it has really been falling behind the S&P lately. Okay, another EMA test going on. One thing to note is that we did not make a very convincing new high here. Just a couple ticks higher and we're already pulling back. Strength is starting to wane a bit. Same thing over here. Pretty significant pullback. The gap between prices and the top of the channel is starting to widen, so it is starting to get weaker. Jonathan asks, is there a reason you do not try to short the high of day? There's a lot of reasons. do have a second entry long on this really big bar, not even touching the EMA. Best not to hold, or best not to try that one. And circle back to Jonathan's question. Jonathan, you're still listening. It'd be important for anyone else. Why wouldn't we short here? Why wouldn't we go short here? We're at the high of day. Why not? Well, take a look at all this. Is that something you want to short against? Look how strong that's been. EMA has been holding. We had the chance to even test yesterday's low. We didn't even get there. It's been constantly moving higher. This is really strong price action. You don't want to bet against that. Don't try to outsmart the market. Let the market show what it wants to do and just join in on it. Right now it's showing that it wants to go up. Let the market be your friend, not your end. I like that. Nasdaq pretty high up there. Yeah, definitely not a mean reversion trader, Jonathan. But I do trade ranges. We're just not in one. This was a confirmed range for a long time. That'd be different. I would be more than happy to short at the top. But this is not a trend. This is not a range. This is a nice trend. Yeah, I'm definitely not a mean reversion trader. Not that it's not a decent strategy, it just doesn't fit my style. There are many ways to make money in the markets, and you gotta pick what way fits best for you. Making sure, of course, that it actually does have an edge. It's easy to say like, well, I like this, I like trading this. Well, does it actually have an edge though? Is it a statistically confirmed edge that will work, that has worked in the past, that will work in the future? That's really critical to get a hold of, even before you go to like preferences. Make sure that what you're doing has an edge, and that, a hard answer for everyone, is that will require work. That will require you to go back and test things. That will require you to be patient, test them in real time. Yeah, there's not something simple that you can just pick up and then go with it. And even if something is confirmed by someone else, you really need to own it for yourself. Know without a shadow of a doubt that what you're doing has an edge in the markets, because that's going to carry you through the really tough times when your emotions are at work, when you've taken some losses. If you're just relying on someone else, say like, oh yeah, this strategy works, it's not going to be sufficient. You have to know that personally, that what you're doing will have success over the long term. Miranda, thank you. I think that's a good classification. I like that. Yeah, because there's lots. I don't trade trends only. Like, you know, yesterday there wasn't one trend over the course of the day. The market was up, down, and I had, you know, like in a single day, I could take one short and one long. So yeah, I guess a true trend trader would only be like, hey, I am only looking for a trend day and I'm only going to trade that side of the market. I can trade mixed days up and down. That's true. All right, well, we made a new high there. And right now my outlook is pretty bullish. We're above yesterday's, sorry, the low from a couple days ago. We're above the overnight high. There's lots of room between this level and this level. I think it will likely be pretty choppy from that area to the other, because there's not like open, free, clear space, right? This is what happened a couple days ago. So that is what we are more likely to see, is a lot of that kind of chop up and down. So that's what I am suspecting for the rest of the day, and can easily foresee getting longs and shorts, depending on how everything sets up. So I'm going to be doing that the rest of the day over in the Discord. There is a link below if you'd like to join. Join the IM trading team. We have some fantastic traders in the room, and it's always better to trade with other people. Help you evaluate, help you think through what you're seeing in the market, be able to see opportunities you may have missed before, and then also offer those to other people. It's a wonderful interchange. So anyway, I'm gonna head over there, and for everyone else, it's been awesome. It's been real. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.